What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I'm calling my shot now. Paolo Banchero is going to make the All-Star team this year. Very, very excited for him. Got very high expectations for Paolo Banchero. I'm going to make the argument for why I think he's going to make the All-Star team in the East because there is a lot of really, really good players out there. But this video is going to be an argument for Paolo to make the All-Star team, okay? So before I get into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But I do have two questions for you. Do you think Paolo will make the All-Star team? And what are your expectations for Paolo Banchero this coming year? So a big reason why I believe in Paolo is he was a really, really good rookie last year. One of the most generational rookies we've had. And it kind of went under the radar. Yes, he did win Rookie of the Year, but there's really not like a lot of noise or anything coming out about him going into year two. Maybe that's a good thing. But he did say catch up now or find out later. So I'm going to be one of those people that's caught up now because I think he's going to be great, right? Last year, he's one of... I think since like 2017, there's only been 5 rookies to score 20 points per game. And yes, points is only one measurement, which when you look at those rookies and what they became in years 2 and 3, you had, I think it was Luka, it was Embiid, it was Donovan Mitchell, and Zion. Donovan Mitchell was the only one of those guys to make the All-Star team for the first time in year 3. Okay, so, and Donovan Mitchell was really, really good anyway, but those guys are all studs in today's NBA. Yes, Zion has the injury issues and the off-the-court issues, but when he plays, he's one of the best players on the planet. So you can kind of see the trajectory that Paolo has set for himself. He's not just a good scorer. He's an absolutely amazing rebounder. I think last year his averages overall 20 points, like 7 rebounds, and like almost 4 assists. So 7 rebounders, 7 rebounds, that's a good number. That's a good number for anybody that's not playing center. Is a dude that also led the Orlando Magic in defensive rebounds last year. So he crashes the glass. I think he was second on the team in offensive rebounds, and he's a big body, seeks out the contact, and is not afraid to get in there and, fight with the trees because, well, he is one, to be honest. But, he can rebound the ball too. So when you're already a really good scorer and you're a great rebounder for your size and, for overall, that's going to keep you on the floor. That's going to make you vastly important to any NBA game. Now, let's not slouch at the assists. 3.7 assists for somebody that's 6'10", that's a good amount. That's not like, Nikola Jokic or anything, but that ranked 9th for guys 6'10" or bigger. So he's in the top 10 in assists for guys his size. I think that's kind of impressive when you look at it's guys like Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, like dudes like that are up there. So I think that's kind of like it's a good mark to keep setting and keep improving because this was only year 1. It's only year 1, and he was a really, really solid rebounder, one of the best scorers we've seen for rookies, and then he was also a pretty good passer. Like that's not stuff that you see all in one go, and that was just as a rookie. Now, the main reason I feel confident in him, taking that big next step is that his shooting efficiency, basically, for what he did with the 20 points, the shooting efficiency wasn't that great. It was like 43% overall, 30 from behind the three-point line, and then I think like 73 or 74 from the free throw line. Usually we see an uptick and guys going into year 2 with a full NBA offseason. They've been through an NBA season. They kind of know what the challenges are ahead. That experience usually can see these guys go up 2, 3, 4%, from the field, and then go up 2, 3, 4% from the 3 and a couple percent from the free throw line. Usually see that kind of growth overall in terms of shooting efficiency because they just understand the game better. The game slows down a little bit. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect him to maybe shoot 45 from the field, 34 from 3, and 77 from the free throw line. Just taking a 2-3% jump in each spot. He showed towards the end of last year, as his rookie year, that he really started to figure out his 3 ball. He started to figure out overall. And on top of it, the dude gets to the line like generationally. I think 28% or something of his points last year came from the free throw line. And this is a big dude, and he knows he's big. And he's going to seek out the contact, and he's going to try and finish over you, through you. He's not scared of anything like that. So, when you get a body that size with a presence that size in the paint who's seeking out the contact, guys don't want to guard that all night long. I'm sorry, they just don't. They don't want to get hit in the chest all night long. I think my expectations for him, like statistically, I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there 25, 8, and 4. 25 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And, shoot better from the field. And I think Orlando's going to be a play-in team this year. I think that they have a really good shot of maybe making the playoffs, but play-in should be their goal, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun this year. But Paolo's the biggest reason why. And, if they're competing for that, they're going to have an all-star. They'll have an all-star if they're competing for the play-in. Usually teams that are in the, the top 8, 9, usually they field an all-star. Speaking of the all-star, because that's kind of the thing that I'm pointing out here is I think he's going to make this team. There's 12 guys that make the team each year, and to kind of put it into perspective why I think he's going to make it, let's look at the guys that I would say are probably locks ahead of him. And this is not to put Paolo down or these guys in some other stratosphere. These are just guys that I think are awesome NBA players, and I think they'll make the All-Star team, okay? So I got a list right here. You have Giannis. It's MVP. We get that. Jason Tatum, one of the best players on the planet, one of the best scorers. You have Joel Embiid, just won MVP. You have Donovan Mitchell, who was spectacular last year. Jalen Brunson, who I think when you open a lot of guys' eyes in the playoffs a lot, that starts to kind of bode well for your regular season, voting and stuff like that. And he's in New York. Jalen Brunson had an awesome playoffs last year. Had a great year last year. And I think people kind of realized they got it wrong a little bit with Randall making the All-Star team and not him. So I think you'll kind of right that wrong and put Brunson in. Then you have Trae Young, who's, consistently one of the top scorers, consistently one of the top assist guys. Trae Young's a dog. I think he gets disrespected a lot. Jimmy Butler, just the aura of Jimmy Butler is going to get him into the All-Star game, even though he doesn't really take the regular season all that serious. But Jimmy will make it. I think Tyrese Halliburton's potentially could be the best point guard in the East this year. So I got Tyrese as a lock to make it. And then you have Pascal Siakam. If he's still in Toronto or whatnot, I'm kind of going that he is going to be. Pascal's a really good player. So that's 9 guys right there. I listed 9 guys. There's 12 spots. There's 3 spots open. So which guys are kind of left? And, every year we get one or two guys that jumps out of nowhere. But the guys that you could probably expect to be fighting for these 3 spots, Jaylen Brown, he's made some All-Star teams. Darius Garland's made some All-Star teams. There's Bam, who's really damn good offensively and defensively. You got Paolo. Then you have guys like Levine and DeRozan. I don't really know how to rank them this year just because I think Chicago is just on a crash course for a rebuild, and they're the only ones that don't know it yet. So I don't know. Maybe one of them makes it. I don't think they'll field 2 All-Stars again. You have Mikal Bridges, who was really, really good to finish the season with the Nets, but they didn't really win a lot of games. You don't see, guys that have good numbers but are on terrible teams. You don't really see them make the All-Star team too much. And then there's guys like Julius Randle, right? So let's look at the guys that Paolo's competing with here. Jaylen Brown is the number 2 or number 3 with Kristaps Porzingis on that team now. The touches are going to be a little bit far and few between a little bit. So he's competing with somebody else out there. You have Darius Garland, exact same conversation with Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. I love Garland's game, but, you get the dynamic there. Bam, doesn't always get the respect he deserves offensively. So, maybe he doesn't make it. If Miami takes another step back, which would be, that would be something catastrophic. And then there's guys like Levine and DeRozan who are on the same team, but we just don't know what that team's going to do this year. Not very high expectations. And then, like I said, I don't think Randall's going to make it because I think the Knicks are probably going to have Brunson in there. I think they're probably only going to have 1 All-Star. So that really, you have Paolo probably right in there with Jaylen Brown and Darius Garland as those 3. And every year there's injuries to the guys that get, make the All-Star team. So there ends up being fillers and replacements, guys that make it anyway. So really it's usually like 13 or 14 players long for the All-Star team. But I'm pretty certain that Paolo Banchero is going to be amongst these 12 guys. And if I didn't have your guy on the Eastern All-Star team, let me know who your guy is because, there's always many guys in the NBA. I just listed, 15, 16 players, right, that could all make the All-Star team, all guys that I love watching, okay? So if you got somebody else or you disagree that, some of these guys should be ahead of Paolo, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to hear it. But ultimately, I think Paolo's going to be the one that makes it. I think it's because he's going to have a big year 2 jump. The team's going to have a little bit more success, be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be a lot of good energy going on in Orlando, and Paolo is going to be the biggest reason why. Like Paolo Banchero said, man, catch up now or find out later. So I'm urging y'all to catch up now because the dude's a dog, and I cannot wait to watch his second year because that growth is going to be crazy. But what are your expectations for his second year? Do you think he's going to make the All-Star team? If no, let me know why he won't make it in your eyes. That's always cool to hear. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But nonetheless, tune into Paolo Banchero next season because it's going to be a lot of fun watching that guy ball out there. All right? Cool. I'm done. Peace.